So Moody's just downgraded the US credit rating. That is not just some quiet financial adjustment. That is a global red flag. And we have officially passed the point of no return. And I know you can all feel something's a little weird and a little off out there. Heck, it's gotten so crazy that California is threatening to steal your Bitcoin if it stays on the exchanges too long. But if you fast forward to today, the US owes more in interest payments than they actually collect in tax revenue. That's not politics, man. That is math, and this math is getting real. Foreign nations like China and Japan are stepping back from US bonds, and they've stopped trusting our paper money. The bond market, which is hundreds of times bigger than the stock market, is starting to crack. When that cracks, everything also buckles because the bond market is the foundation, and that foundation is rotting. Meanwhile, Americans like us are out here grinding, working 2 and 3 jobs just to afford rent and maybe get a few groceries, while the people in charge pretend everything is still working just fine. But here's the truth, man. In 1971, President Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, and from that moment on, the US dollar became backed by nothing but debt and trust. It's lost 98% of its purchasing power. So yeah, your grandpa's $100 bill is worth less than $2 now. Fast forward to today and the pressure is exploding. President Trump is publicly calling out Jerome Powell, the current Fed chair, for being too late to cut interest rates. He's accusing him of being asleep at the wheel, and he might not be wrong. Inflation is supposedly cooling, but do you feel the relief? The Fed's got these rate locked and the economy is suffocating. They just don't have the tools to fix this, and deep down, I think they know it. We are watching a slow motion collapse in real time. But maybe, just maybe, there is a lifeline. Enter Ripple and enter XRP. Ripple just settled their case with the SEC for $50 million fine, and there's a scenario floating around that makes a lot of sense. What if Ripple could help clean up this mess? What if they gift XRP either to pay off the fines or to help offset the national debt directly? Yeah, I know that sounds ridiculous, right? Until you realize this. Ripple's been building corridors with banks and central banks for years. They've got the tech, they've got the partnerships, and all they need is the green light. And imagine the XRP price if it were suddenly adopted at scale to handle cross-border settlements or even debt relief. That changes everything. Demand would surge because unlike the US dollar, the XRP supply is fixed. And with XRP currently sitting in this $2 range, you would need to reach double digits or more to absorb real value at a national level. It wouldn't just make XRP army holders rich, it would inject stability into a system that is failing. It'd be the financial equivalent of Superman coming in to save the day. Now, none of my stuff is ever financial advice, but you might want to pick up some XRP while it's still cheap. I am stacking as much as I can, because this ain't about just getting rich anymore. It's also about not getting wrecked.